Hi, today I wanted to answer a question about how do you create a safe relationship so your child can talk to you about difficult topics. Now, this question is loaded because it actually starts at the very beginning of your interaction with your child. If you have a younger child, one of the best ways to start this is to just really monitor your responses to things that happen, specifically things that make them nervous or that they will be corrected on. For example, if a child misbehaves and throws their food on the floor, you will notice that your child will often look to you as the parent and wait for your response. And how you respond will tell your child if it's safe to come to you to talk about something that they did wrong or if it didn't. Now, that's just one example. And am I saying that that is going to stop your child from talking to you? Absolutely not. But over time, as things happen and your child begins to progress and grow and you make corrections with your child, you are setting up these fences, these boundaries of what is safe and what is not safe. And your child will know that. In fact, by the time they're 8 or so, they know what they can go to you for, and they know if they go to you with other things that it may set you off. So understanding that and learning to disconnect your emotional responses and responding in a calm way to things that may happen that you disagree with will be essential in establishing a relationship where they feel safe enough to talk to you about anything. Now that's great for a parent who actually has a young child and they can start to develop this as they go. What do you do if your child is a teenager and things are already established and they have already set up a wall and they're not communicating with you? Well, going back to the skills of effective communication on the Smarter Parenting website will be super helpful for you to begin the communication process. But there are some additional things that you can do. In my family, with my daughter, we've established a time, well, not a time, but we've established a method that we use in order to improve and to help our communication go. Specifically, if she has to talk about something that's very, very difficult for her. It's called, for us, we've called it Dog of the World. So Dog of the World, it's just a random sentence. It doesn't mean anything to anybody else. It's just something that we established as a family. And the way that it works is if she prefaces a conversation with me with Dog of the World, then I automatically have agreed to the following things. I have agreed that I will not question what she's going to say next. I will not give her counsel on what she's going to say next. I will not offer my feedback, and I will listen. So the goal is just to have her talk about whatever. Now, it also includes that I will not go back and revisit what she has talked about during that conversation unless she agrees that we can go back and talk about it. And I will tell you this, even though we have that last thing in place, she has always wanted to talk about it later or at the same time. So we put that in there as a safety measure for her so she feels like, well, I can just get this out and leave it and I don't have to worry about it anymore. But I have found that every time she has actually gone back and wanted to talk about it even more. So it's kind of one of those rules that, hasn't really stuck, but it's there for a purpose, and it's to help her feel comfortable enough to share what she needs to share with me. So we've established that. Now my daughter will come to me and she will sit down, and if she says, "Okay, Dad, Dog of the World," then I know automatically I'm in this mode of non-judgment, and that way I can have her process and work through it. During that process, she will ask questions about what I think, and then I can provide feedback to that. But she's actually in control of the communication at that point. That's something you can try with your older teenager. I've seen it work actually with families. They name it something completely different. But we've named it Dog of the World because it's very different, and it doesn't come up in natural conversation, and it's something that you have to actually come out and say, and then the agreement just happens with everybody in the family. So again, if you have younger children, you can start early by learning to control your emotional responses when things go wrong. And if you're able to control those and react in a way that's non-aggressive to where your child is scared of you, and you can correct a child without being upset. You can correct a child's behavior without overreacting, yelling, and screaming. Once you start doing those things, if you start yelling, screaming, and overreacting, it does set up a boundary, and they say this is not a safe. I can't go to you for I feel like things are going to be this bad, then I can't go to you and talk to you about that because you're going to react the same way. So again, with younger children that way. For older children, just establish something that's unique to you and your child that just says this, and establish rules around that. It can happen anytime. The conversations for Dog of the World with me and my daughter have happened in the car. They've happened on the porch. They've happened just at home. They've happened on vacation. Just random things that she's willing to talk to me about because, again, as she grows older and is gaining independence, she doesn't want to share everything with me. And that's a normal thing, and I'm completely okay with that. So as my daughter's growing, it's okay for her to keep secrets because she is developing independence outside of me, and she's learning to navigate her way through the world. Now, although she's able to keep secrets, there are, however, 3 things she is not allowed to keep secret. And this is just hands down, there's no negotiating. The first one is if she is in danger. So if she's harming herself in any way, we don't negotiate any of that. That is off the table. She cannot keep a secret about that. She cannot keep a secret if somebody else is harming her, okay, physically harming her or doing anything that may be illegal. And she cannot keep a secret if secrets are not allowed if she's being sexually active. Now, it may seem like, she's going to do that and she's not going to tell you, right? But we've created a relationship where the communication is open for her to share those things. If she were to come to me and share those things, that my reaction wouldn't be confrontational, but it would be more, okay, well, we're here. We need to do something and get this fixed, and we need to work on this, and we need to work on additional things. So again, harm to self, harm from others, and being sexually active are definitely things that are not to be kept secret. And things that we can talk about. So I do want to point out that even though there are conditions to this Dog of the World approach, that you will find, and this has been absolutely true in my experience and with other parents who have used this, that your child will actually ask for your feedback. They will want to know what you think, and they will want your advice and your counsel. But if you offer it without their invitation, it tends to be unwanted, unwarranted, and they will reject it. But I promise you, we've put those things in place for Dog of the World, but for some reason, when my daughter comes to talk to me about something, or when I've seen it work with other parents, the kids actually are asking for additional help and suggestions. So don't feel like you can't go back and revisit something. In some way or other, your child will ask about it, and they'll ask your opinion, and they'll want to know a little bit more about what you think. So don't be too concerned about that part of it. Just establish the rules and let them know, and let them guide it. And you'll find that your relationship will be so much stronger. These are just helpful tips and suggestions for you as a parent in learning how to create an environment where your child can come to you. You'll find that as your child grows, if you're able to establish some of these habits along the way, using the skill from effective communication on the Smarter Parenting website, your child will come to you when things come up. And sometimes I hear things that I do not want to hear, but I refrain from emotionally responding to those because I just don't want to hear it, to just being there and listening. And I'm grateful that she feels comfortable enough to come to me to talk to me about this stuff. So those are some tips. I'd be grateful to hear any feedback or information that you may have. But these have been the ones that have worked the best with the families that I've worked with and with my own family. That's it for this week, and we'll see you again.